So in this question, I believe understanding what this question means and comprehending was very, very important before you could actually start solving this question. So let's try and comprehend what is happening in this question and then we'll go about solving it. So this is a question about a visa processing office which accepts applications for four categories of visa. It talks about those four categories here. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Let me just change the color back to red because, yeah. Okay. So these are the four categories it talks about. The application is scheduled for processing in 20 15-minute slots. So how I would visualize this is like this. So let's say there's a slot at, say, this is time 0 or 9 o'clock, whatever. Then there's another time slot that starts at 15. So this is my slot 1. So this part is slot 1. Yeah. So similarly, I'll have another timeline here for 30, one more for 45, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. So this is how my slots will be working out. I have 20 such slots, right? And there are 10 applications that are scheduled in each slot. So you can have 10 applications that are in these slots. So overall, you'll have 20 into 10, which makes it equal to 200 applications that could be slotted in a day. So there are 10 counters in the office, 4 dedicated to US. So okay, so these applications will be processed at these 10 counters. Now, and 4 dedicated to US applications. So US application will go there, 2 to UK, and each for UK, Schengen, and this thing. So they have 10 for US, 2 for UK, this, so forth. So applicants are called in for processing sequentially on a first come first serve basis whenever a counter gets freed for their category. Okay, so what it means basically is this, that when the applicants apply or there are applications, so even though there are only 4 dedicated US application centers, okay, counters, not centers, counters, it is not necessary that in a slot you will get only 4 US applications. You could get more. You can take up to 10 applications. All 10 could be US, but they will be processed in the 4 dedicated this thing, and in these 4 they will be called one after the other on a first come first serve basis. So this is just these 10 counters has nothing to do with these 10 applications being scheduled. Okay, so there is no, okay. So applications are called for processing sequentially in a first come whenever a counter gets freed for the category. The processing time for an application is same within each category, but it may vary across the categories. So each US and UK application requires 10 minutes. So I know the application processing time for UK and US. Depending on the number of applications in a category and time required to process an application for that category, it is possible that an applicant for a slot may be processed later. So this makes it very, very clear. What I spoke about earlier, this part makes it very, very clear. So let us say there were only 4 dedicated application centers for US, okay, and it takes 10 minutes to process. So let us say there are more than 4 people that are coming in. Let's say there are 10, all 10 are US, let's say. So what it means to say is that the 4 you will start processing right away, but the remaining 6 will be waiting. So once those 4 get over in 10 minutes, so I have 5 minutes of my first slot left, which because each slot is for 15 minutes, the other 4 would start. And then once those 4 again get over, then I have another 2 left, which will start after the first 8 have been done. And that would happen on a first come first serve basis. Right? So depending on number of applications in the category in times, that number could actually be more than the number of dedicated counters. Okay, so this is what it means. It is possible that the applicant may be first slot may be processed later. So on a particular day, Ira Vijay Nandini was scheduled for Schengen visa processing in that order. So we have these 3 people coming for Schengen visa, and we have how many? So this again says that we have only 2 slots. We have only 2 slots for Schengen visa, it says here, but we have 3 people coming. Anna, all of them had the same slot, which is 9:15, so that means you could have more people, but they came late at 9:20. When they entered the office, exactly 6 out of 10 counters were either processing applications or had finished processing one and ready to start processing the next. So there were some people who were taking the next. There were 6 counters there. So either they were busy or they were taking new applications at that time. Okay, and this is at 9:20. Okay, so Mahira and Osman were scheduled at 9:30 on the slot for visa processing in others category. So okay, so we have two more people. So there were three people in Shenzhen, and we had Mahira Osman in the others category. We were coming at 9:30. Okay, for the others category. Fine, this makes sense. Now let's look at this. It says the following additional information known about that day. It says all slots are full. So how many slots in all did we have? 20, right? So it says that, see, 20, 15-minute slots, so 20, all 20 are full. By full, they mean every slot had 10. So that means all 200 applications were there. That means there were 10 per slot, all were full. That's one. The number of US applications was same in all the slots. So all slots are equal number. The same was true for other three. So for other three, which means, so let's just look at this. I know, uh, so for others I know it is at least two because I have Mahira and Usman. Yeah. And for Shenzhen, I know it is at least greater than equal to three because I on at 9:15 I already know Ira, Vijay, Nandini are there and their order is also given, right? So these three were there, so that means there were at least three in that slot. So you have said the number of were the same in all slots. The same was true for the other three categories, and for US obviously since there are at least five here, so that means we're left with five slots minimum of. So they will be less than equal to five depending on whatever. Okay, so this is there. 50% of the applications were US applications. So I know total applications were 200 and every slot 10 all were full and US was equal. So that means US was 5. So in every slot, or there were 100 US applications, 5 in each slot. If this was 5, then Shenzhen would have to be 3 and others would be 2. Yeah, so this is the breakup. All applicants except Ira Nandi arrived on time. So no one is late. Vijay was called to the counter at 9:25 a.m. Now let's understand what is happening here. Okay, so I now know that in US there were 5 applicants. Now how would that be working out? So let's just say, so you have a US counter. So I'll just mark some US counters. This is US counter. So I have 4 US counters. Now and I know the time for each is this. So there are 5 people who are coming there. How many people? 5 people. So if everybody comes in, so this 0th hour is 9 o'clock. Yeah, because that's when it starts. Okay, so this is 9 a.m. Okay, so this is 9 a.m. And then you can add on, make it like that. Whatever appropriately find out the times. Okay, so what you need to do now out here is know that so 4 people will start working on it right away. No, so you have something like in 10 minutes this is happening, first person, then there's the second person getting processed, then the third person is getting processed. These events are taking at this time. Okay, so this is what is happening. So this is the US processing happening. So once these 4 people are done, so this should happen at what? They take 10 minutes, so this is 9, 10. So I just mentioned 10 here. The fifth person would come and start work getting, so he'll take 5 minutes here and 5 minutes off here. So this is not to scale, so this is like 5 minutes. Okay, so this 5 on this would be 20. Okay, so this is how it will be working, right? So this is what is saying. So it's saying, let's have a look. So in US, there are 5 people, but there are only 4 counters. So the first person starts coming at 9. So and the first all 5, no one was late, so all 5 came at 9. But still on first come first basis, whatever, they assigned 4 people. The fifth person was there, and the fifth person got a chance at 9:10 at the counter where it got free. Now there are another 5 people which are coming in. When? At 9:15. So when those 5 people came in, so obviously 3 of them started right away. Yeah. So 3 of them started 9:15. So this is 9:25 if you realize this. Okay. And then what would happen? Then at 9:05, the other guy would start again. At 9:20, the fourth guy would get into play and he'll finish it here. And then once this gets over, then the fifth guy would get into play. And by this time, everybody else has all the other 3 counters are empty. And this guy will work for another 5 minutes. So this is 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here. So sorry, this is not to scale, but I'm sure you're getting what I'm trying to do here. So this is how it's going to work. Right. So this is what it means that, okay, so this is how it'll keep on processing. People will keep on coming and they'll keep on processing like this. So this is the US thing. Okay. Right. Now, so this is how it is working for US. Similarly, and I know in Schengen there are 3 people they're there. Okay. So in Schengen, what is happening is you have only two counters and there are three people that are coming, right? So the first person's processing would start, and I don't know the time for this, so I don't know. The second person processing would also start, but there's at least so there's one person who's not able to start. I don't know the timing right now, so I'll just try and figure this out. So let's go and go to that line, and then you have others. You have others. Then you have two of others. So you have three for Shenzhen which are coming, but but they were coming in these counters, and then you have these others. Then you have two others, right? And then you have two counters. Now let's look at this line. So this line which says when they entered, exactly 6 out of 10 counters were either processing applications or had finished processing one and ready to start processing the next. So that means there were 6 counters who were going to get busy at what time did they come? They came at 9:20. So they came at 9:20. So this is the time that they came. So I can see that this counter definitely, these counters were definitely busy. But there were two more who were about to take applications. So if I look at the others and I look at this, so I know the minute this happens, so I know Ira is coming in. So either Ira, Vijay, Nandi are coming in this order. So I know there are two counters for Shenzhen. There are two counters for Shenzhen. Now, if either both the Shenzhen counters were free at that time, or one was free, or none of them was free. If none of them were free, then these are the 6 counters that are there. So what happened to these others? So what I want to say is that at 9:20 when they come in, so either both Ira and Vijay would, if they find both the center and counters free for Shenzhen, they both will be handled at that moment. But it says no, Vijay was called at 9:25, which means, what does it mean? It means that Vijay, who's the second person coming in, and overall he is the fifth person. Remember, there were three people in the first slot, then fourth person was Ira for Shenzhen, then fifth person Vijay. So it means, so what has happened here is he is called at 9:25. So he's called at 9:25. So this is 25-minute mark. This is a 25-minute mark, right? So he's called at 9:25, and what is happening now is that means the first, so at 9:20 we know Ira would have been called before Vijay, because this is processing in that order and it's first come first. So Ira will go before Vijay. So at 9:25 Vijay is going. So I can say that this would be when in the counter in which Vijay is going. So what will happen now is that the second person. So let's say Vijay is going to this counter. Okay, so ideally it should have been this counter had this been the order, but let's say it's with this counter. So the second person or the third person, or which is the third person of the first slot, would have been called to this counter and would have gotten free at 9:25, which means these two have been processed in 25 minutes, which means one of them is processed in 12 minutes, 12 and a half minutes, 12 minutes 30 seconds, right? And this is when Vijay goes. So this is 12 and a half minutes, and this is when the first person from first slot gets over. So this is the time when this counter is free. The minute Ira comes, Ira takes this up at 9:20, and then she will also need to stay there till 12.5 minutes, which would make it equal to, okay, beyond this, it will go to 32.5. So this will go to 32.5. So I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to do. So this is what is basically happening. So Shenzhen visa we now know would take 12.5 minutes. Now if I look at it this scenario, I can see that the 6 counters should have been these only, because this is already busy. The 4 American ones are busy, the US ones are busy, and Ira's counter right away took her up right away. So they were ready to process this. So what does this actually mean? It means that these counters had to stay idle. The others counter had to stay idle at that time, and it means that by 9:20 definitely they had finished their processing and they had nothing more. There were no more bookings for them. It was ready to start processing next. They will do it in the next slot. So they had no processing to be done. So it means that others' time at max could have been 5 minutes. It should have been less than 5 minutes. So when they come in, they're over. They're empty. Fine. So this is what we get. So what do we know? So US counters are 5s. This is 3 and this is 2. So now this is slightly haphazard. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So in for UK, so all 10 are booked. So UK had zero. So how many applicants were scheduled for that day? UK applicants. The answer should be, yeah. The answer should be right. It should be zero. So the answer for this is zero. Yeah. So now let's look at the next question. Let's look at the next question. So what is the maximum possible value of total time minutes needed was required to process all applications in others category on that day of total time? So it's like, so how many applications? So I know its maximum is 5 minutes. I already know it's 5 minutes for others, and we had two into two per slot into 20 slots make it 40 into 5 will make it 200 minutes. So the maximum time that would have been taken would have been 200 minutes. So it's like 200 minutes. So the answer to do this is 200 minutes. Yeah, very close to 200 minutes. If it's slightly less than 4, it will be like closest it will be that. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. So this is 200. Let's look at the next question. Okay. What is the time when Nandini's application process got over? Uh, okay. So let's go to that and see. I had marked the Nandini time somewhere. Okay, so Nandini's time was here. Okay, so this is Nandini's time. Nandini starting here. So 90. So this is when Nandini starts. This is when Nandini, so this is where Ira had started. This is when Nandini starts. So they will take 12.5 more minutes. 12.5. So so exactly it'll come to 45. So it's 9:45. So the answer will be 9:45. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the answer for that is 9:45. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the next question. Which of the following statements is false? The application process of Osman was completed before 9:45. Osman came at Osman is the others guy, which takes less than a minute. So they came at 9:30, less than 5 minutes, 9:35. So this is true. So this is the A is true. So A is not the answer. So A cannot be the answer. So since we're looking for the false statement, so I'll say A is not the answer. A is true. So A is true. Application process Mahira started after Nandini's. So Nandini started at 9:32.5. Mahira is again so 9. So this is also not true. This is also kind of this is Mahira. Mahira started after Nandini's, and Nandini's started at 32.5, and Mahira started at 9:30, and she was on time. So this should be the answer, in fact. This should be the answer. It says, yeah. Okay, so it says applicant process Mahira started after Nandini's. Mahira started at 9:30. Nandini started at this thing. Yeah, so this is the answer. We saw the false. It's only one statement which is false. We've already found the false statement. This should be the answer. So this is the answer. Right. Yeah. Let's look at the next question. Let me just clear this up. Sorry. Can I go back to that question once more? I just need to check. I, I yes, no, yeah. So let me just go back to that question. Let me just check that again. Uh, the applicant process Osman was completed. Osman before Vijay. Vijay started 9:25, 9:35. So this is true. This is true. The applicant process of Mahira. The application process of Mahira was completed before Nandini. So Mahira 9:35, Nandini 9. Uh, yeah, okay. So So I'm sure B is the right answer. Correct. B is the right answer in this. Thank you very much. Let's look at the next question now. Let's look at the next question. Okay. So let me just clear this up. These things that I've drawn out here. Okay. This says which when did application processing for all users having get over that day? So I know the last slots ends at 2 p.m. So obviously the last slots ends at 2 p.m. I would get to know that what is happening here is that there's a 5 minute overflow. There's a 5 minute overflow that happens. So if it gets over it, then the answer should be 205. So if you look at this, the four people were there, then the fifth person started, and 5 minutes was in in the original slot, and 5 minutes went into the next slot. And then again, four people were processed, and the fifth person again ended up giving 5 minutes, ended up consuming 5 minutes of the next slot. So at 2 o'clock, what's going to happen is at the slot which starts at 1:45 p.m., four applications would be processed. The fifth would flow over, by 5 minutes, and the answer should be 205. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you've understood.